Hello everyone, I hope you're well. I wish you a nice month. Thank you to everybody who got in touch with me to say how accurate my predictions were in October. And congratulations to Donna Life. Donna is the winner of our contest. She guessed that Bitcoin's price on October 1st will be 117,232, which is actually very close to the closing price of 117,200. And that's according to CoinMarketCap. Donna, please get in touch with me to receive your free natal chart analysis. You will find my email in the description below. If you are new here, we do have a contest going on, and that's to predict Bitcoin's price on February 1st. Now, as always, we first have a quick look at few key dates coming up in November, and then we look at Bitcoin. There is so much going on in November, guys, but I will do my best and try to keep it short. With Mars being in the sign of Sagittarius, we may want things to move fast in November, but because there are many planets that are retrograde this month, do not expect things to move as fast as you want them. Any obstacles we meet, they might slow us down, but the purpose of that is that we can examine the proper way to move forward. But we need to trust the way things flow. The planet Uranus will move back for the last time in the sign of Taurus from November 8th until the end of April. This placement often brings sudden shifts and unpredictability, especially in global markets and the economy. During the first 10 days of November, Venus will form challenging aspects to both Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So during these days, we could see fluctuations, instability, especially in the global economy and the markets. But in addition to that, Pluto, which amongst other things rules the global economy, is out of bounds, actually is out of his normal orbit. And starting November 9th, Mercury, the planet of trade and communication, goes retrograde until the end of the month. Well, the markets often behave quite strange or reverse course when Mercury is retrograde. But the good news is that the second half of the month looks more promising. There is a full moon in Taurus on November 5th. Full moon in Taurus are actually positive by nature, but this full moon gives us the chance to let go of stuff that we don't really value any longer. Just before the full moon on the 3rd, 4th, and the 5th of November, Mars, the planet of action, will oppose Uranus and at the same time will be in a positive angle to both Neptune and Uranus. What this means is that a surprising or even a shocking event could be a breakthrough, and this will open doors for new opportunities for a lot of us. What makes this full moon special, though, is that both the sun and the moon will align positively to the North Node, which means that any changes we make now will align with our destiny and future. However, Mars, the planet of action, being opposite the sudden and unexpected Uranus, also suggests conflicts. So it's important on the 3rd, 4th, and the 5th of November to be patient and mindful of your actions and reactions. This goes for everyone, but especially for those born around November 23rd, February 19th, May 21st, and August 23rd. You might feel it a bit more strongly. November 15th to the 22nd are positive days. These days, there are nice angles from the Sun and Jupiter, but there is also a lucky window of opportunity this month. Mark your calendars, my friends, from November 23rd until the 27th. During this period, Venus will be in Scorpio and will form a grand trine, that's the luckiest aspect, to both Jupiter and Saturn. This can bring positive developments, interesting and meaningful connections, and many opportunities to a lot of us. However, Mercury is retrograde, so it's a good idea not to rush into anything new just yet. As usual, with Mercury going retrograde from November 9th, we might experience miscommunication. You say one thing and people hear something else, but also delays, especially if you're traveling from the 9th until the 18th. But really, Mercury is not all that bad because when it's retrograde, it offers us a perfect chance to reflect and revise some of our beliefs and future goals. However, until November 18th, it's good to be cautious with your expectations, your over-optimism, and what you promise. After the 18th, Mercury moves into Scorpio and emotional matters come to the spotlight. While this is an excellent time with Mercury retrograde in Scorpio to revise, to repair, when Mercury is retrograde, it's good time to repair things. And in Scorpio to do some research, transform old projects. But it's also a great time for introspection. Because Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, we do have the chance to let go of unresolved emotional issues, fears, worries, and figure out what's holding us back. However, remember that with Scorpio, we often tend to be overly suspicious and over-analytical. And please choose carefully what you say during this time if you want to avoid any misunderstandings and discussions, especially involving issues of trust. The new moon in Scorpio on November 20th is pretty interesting. This new moon shows revelations, secrets that come to surface, and a sudden event. It could be also shocking, but with a positive outcome. And I'm saying all this because during this new moon, the Sun, Moon, and Mercury, they all align in the sign of Scorpio, and they're in a very positive angle to Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus. But they all oppose the planet of sudden change and surprises, Uranus. And in addition to that, Mercury is in the heart of the Sun in Scorpio. It's all about secrets. Mercury will be stationary and Venus will oppose Uranus on November 29th and 30th. These are not the best days for risking money, signing new agreements, or beginning something new. And I remember it's Black Friday during these couple of days, so I think it's a good idea to wait a few days before you buy new electronics. Now let's move to Bitcoin. My friends, it takes me a few days to do these videos, so please remember to like my video. It takes you a second, and it does help my channel. If you like to know what's ahead for Bitcoin, you can order my Bitcoin predictions for December and January in a discounted price. If you like more information, my email is in the description. You can also have your own personal horoscope and predictions, which actually is my specialty. And please remember that this is not a financial advice. Usually October is a good month for Bitcoin, but that was the worst October for Bitcoin for the last 10 years. There is an important aspect in Bitcoin's chart that it's been going on for a while. You can see that on the map. And that's a tense angle from Uranus to Bitcoin's Venus. It will be active the first part of November and for the last time next April. This really could have been really bad for Bitcoin. However, this time the situation is different and it changes the nature of situation. Because Uranus, that represents sudden change and disruption, is also positively aspected by other planets which help stabilize this tense angle. You can see that on the map. That's the green lights. During the first 3 days of November, there are a couple of nice angles. Well, the price might go up a bit or it will move sideways. On the 3rd to the 5th, we could see a short correction, but between the 5th and the 10th, there are positive angles of Venus, Mercury, and the Sun that suggest a price increase. If you remember, November 9th and 10th, Mercury will be stationary to turn retrograde. Well, I'm not 100% sure about that, but there could be a brief correction just for a couple of days around the 10th. It doesn't look anything dramatic though. Well, the good news is that from November 12th to the 21st, there are several auspicious angles that point out to a price increase, especially around the days of the new moon on the 20th. During this period, Venus forms auspicious angles to Bitcoin Sun, Uranus, Saturn, while Mercury and Jupiter positive aspect, indicating positive and optimistic news. On November 23rd, a correction is possible, or the price could go sideways for a couple of days. Better days look 26th and 29th of November, the price could go up again, but another correction is possible the last day of the month. Something to keep in mind is around November 24th, day before and day after, any news or information you hear may not be true, because Mercury during these days will form a tense angle to Neptune. That's it, my friends. I hope you enjoy it. I'm waiting for your comments. Thank you. Take care. Bye.